Hello and welcome to SULKNATIONtv. In this episode, I'm going to be discussing road rage. Are you someone that suffers from road rage? Do you know someone that suffers from road rage? Do you understand the reasoning behind road rage generally? Whether you do or not, keep watching. Well, maybe keep watching. Please keep watching. I don't know, keep watching. I suffer very badly, so I've been told, and as I've got older, I've gone, oh yeah, no, I definitely do. I suffer really badly from road rage, but my road rage is like a cathartic outburst. So once I've had that outburst, most of the time, I'm fine. I'm cool as a cucumber, which I have no idea why I've just said cool as a cucumber. It's not 1988. I'm not watching Back to the Future 2, although that might have come out later. Oh, well, I'm going to stick with what I've just said. And saying cool as a cucumber, that's mental. A bit like how I've been described with my road rage. I've obviously driven with a fair few different people in my cars over the years, and yeah, the majority of them have said that I'm a bit of an aggressive driver. Now, I'm not somebody that gets right up the arse of the car in front. Of course I'm not. I'm not a dickhead. But I am somebody that gets angry, and to be fair, most of us that suffer from what I refer to as mild road rage, the reason we get angry is because we're going at a certain speed and we have to slow down. Yes, there are definitely incidences where somebody can almost cause an accident, and they're the instances that take longer to calm down. But most of the time, on a daily drive, most of the time you suffer road rage is because you want to do a bit faster than maybe you should be going legally, and the car that you've just caught up with is deciding to stick to the legal limit, which is irritating. Or you're trying to prove a point to a middle lane hogger, which is one of my favourite reasons for road rage. If you can have a favourite reason for road rage, is when I come across a middle lane hogger. Somebody that's just driving down a motorway in the centre lane, and they're being undertaken, they're being overtaken, and they still don't get the message. Now, I know undertaking is an aggressive move, you shouldn't really do it. And I also know that doing that whilst shouting, oh, you middle lane hogger, oh, shaking your fist, isn't the best thing to do. But I do it, and I'm sure most of you do it. But with that road rage, you've got that cathartic outburst, and then everything's fine, everything's hunky-dory. You just, like a psychopath, go from being absolutely aggressive to as if nothing's happened and you are just placid and calm, like you always think that you should be. As you can see in this clip. You're obviously a f***ing c***, aren't you, mate? So, as you can see from that clip, I mean, I went to maybe 7 out of 10 annoyed to not annoyed within 4 seconds. And that's because I said my piece, I got it out of my system. I carried on driving. Don't be one of those people that goes that next step. Don't start opening the door and getting out of the car. Why be aggressive? Why be that aggressive? There's no need for it. But definitely, if you feel you need to have a little bit of a shout and a rant, get it out your system. That's how I think you should do it. And that's how road rage is. I try and explain that to my wife, who thinks that I get road rage really badly. But yet when she's driving and I'm in the car with her, I'd say her road rage is worse than mine. But I remember one time that, you know, we were looking at a house in a village that I hated living in. But this is before we lived there, so I didn't know I'd hate it. And on the way back, you know, you're going down country lanes, and there was some roadworks, and there was a woman in a 4x4, and she didn't quite understand what was happening with the traffic, and essentially cut off me and my wife's path home. Now, this woman apologised. She was saying sorry. She was like going, "Oh, I'm really sorry," you know, like doing the international gesture of sorry, like that. And my wife did this. Now, that's because she'd already lost her temper about the situation before the woman had even had a chance to apologise. If that's as far as it goes, you going like that, then that's fine. That's a level of road rage I think anybody can deal with. If you're the sort of person that would open the door and get out of the car and call that person out, yeah, you're an idiot. Don't do that. Stupid. Not worth it. Not worth it at all. Road rage is a necessary evil. I think anybody that drives regularly has an acceptable level of road rage within them. And as long as it stays at an acceptable level, fine. It's understandable. I drive a lot for my job, and when I see somebody doing something that I think is stupid, then I will call that out. Even if I'm 10 car lengths behind, and by the time I'm 5 car lengths behind, I've already said they're an idiot, then, you know, that's an acceptable level. When it's not an acceptable level, and I think I've maybe done this twice in my life, where the level of absolute rage within me sat in a driver's seat almost spiraled out of control, was firstly, again, living in that village, I was driving through all these other little villages, and a car was pulling out of a junction and didn't look my direction. So basically, blindly pulled out in front of me. It was wet, it was winter, I slammed my brakes on, and I was going down an incline, so I skidded eventually to a halt. And as I skid down the road, I was looking out of my passenger window, and I saw the guy's face in the car that had pulled out in front of me, and I was going like doing death metal voice, like that, like just angry. As soon as my car stopped, I started opening the door. I could feel myself, like I unstrapped, and the door was like opening like this, and like I was about to get out of the car, and I caught myself and went, what am I doing? Firstly, the guy didn't crash into me. Secondly, what am I going to achieve by getting out of the car and confronting him? What am I going to achieve? What, so he won't make that mistake again? The fact that he saw a 6-foot tattooed, slightly overweight guy sort of screaming as I slide past like something in slow motion in a movie, I think that, you know, if he's going to learn anything, that would be enough. What am I going to teach him if I get out of the car and threaten to hit him? Nothing. The second time was far more recent though, and I was driving from Exeter to Cornwall to go and pick my daughter up. I was driving along the A38, we'd just come off the M5, and I'm on the A38, and I'm going up a big steep hill called Holden Hill. Now, I like to drive up that hill fast. I was driving at speed. It's 3 lanes. I was in the furthest to the right, so I was in the maximum overtaking lane, as I like to refer to it. And the car in the middle lane wasn't a car. It was a black Vauxhall Vivaro van, and this van, I was just overtaking it. So let's say this is the van and this is me. I'm like this, and then the van goes, "Oh, I'm coming out, I'm pulling out," for no reason other than to just pull out. There wasn't a car in front of him. He was overtaking the car to the left at speed. The fact that he went like that, I had to emergency stop from faster than the legal limit on a hill that's like this. Yeah, it was a precarious situation to have been in, and you know, it took me a while to get back up to speed. The van had burnt off because obviously I'd beeped quite loudly, and he'd must have realised what a mistake he'd made. I then caught up with him and stuck my car behind him. I was threatening him. I was shouting essentially at myself, because this is getting towards dusk. I'm in a black car with completely tinted windows. I'm very pale, At most, the guy would have seen maybe what he thought was an apparition, sort of hiding behind the steering wheel. Maybe he was thinking he was going mental. He wouldn't have got the gist I was trying to make, other than you're an ass. And he was an asshole for how he was driving. I was more of an asshole for threatening to kill him. What am I doing? I'm driving, and I've gone from driving a bit too fast to driving slowly, just so I can, for miles, like we're talking like at least 10, 12 miles, I'm going to be driving at 65 behind him, shouting obscenities to myself, essentially. I mean, it's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. In my head, if he turned off into one of the upcoming slip roads that I know well, in my head, I was going to follow him. I was going to follow him all the way home, and then I was going to do something ridiculous, or in my head at the time, heroic and needed. Ridiculous. Road rage, ridiculous. That level of road rage, ridiculous. I should have just gone, ah, you bloody fool. Should have just said that, got a bit angry, maybe turned my tunes up a little bit higher, and just accepted it like I would normally. Just deal with it. That's what I should have done. Did I do that? No. So road rage. Don't feel bad if you get road rage. Just make sure you can control it. Don't go too far with road rage. We've all almost got to that point, I'm sure, where you just start thinking outside of yourself, like I did in those scenarios. But if it's a cathartic response and it makes you feel calm straight after, have a good swear, have a good shout, because essentially you're shouting to yourself in a metal box. You're not hurting anybody by being annoyed with somebody that isn't driving either very well or in a way that you think they should be driving. Just because you think they should be driving in one way doesn't mean they should be. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video. It's more of a rant than anything else, but you know, sometimes, you know, needs must, and I wanted to talk about road rage, and I have. And until the next time, I've been me, you've been you, and well done for that.